I'm agreeable. I don't, there's no reason to lay out all the evidence. You said there's going to have to be a reestablishment period. That's what I'm asking for him to come down and hang out a little bit here and there until I can see how everything's going, and then we can go from there. I'm
Mr. Ingersoll?
Tonight's case is a custody and parenting time clash with serious history behind it. Dad says he's not a stranger and wants time with his little girl now. Mom says slow down, reintroduction first, and safety comes first. The judge is about to run this like a rule book, objections, evidence limits, and best interest of the child factors, because emotions don't decide custody, standards do. Here's the question. Is this a comeback story or risk the court can't gamble on? Watch closely, because one wrong sentence can change everything.
Um, I definitely understand the book's definition of a reestablished thing. Respectfully, I think we're past that. I'm not a complete stranger to this little girl, and it's not like she's going to be completely shocked by the sight of me.
Okay, all you need to say is I don't agree.
I don't agree.
All right, then we'll proceed
I'd
with
like
the
to-
hearing. All right. Ms. Varon, what I'm going to do next is give Mr. Ingersoll an opportunity to testify and to submit whatever documentation that he thinks is appropriate. I'll make a ruling on whether or not the documents are appropriate or not. You can object to anything that you think is inappropriate or illegal for him to talk about. Once there is an objection, both sides will stop. I'll ask what your objection is, and you can tell me, and then I'll ask him what is appropriate for me to ask about that objection, and then I'll make a ruling and we'll move forward from there. Once he is done with his testimony, you can, if you wish, testify yourself, although you're not required to. And the same rules would apply to you, that if you testify, you would be subject to cross-examination, just like you'll be able to ask him questions once he's done. He'll be able to ask you questions if you decide to testify. Do either of you have any questions about the court's procedure?
No.
no.
All right. Mr. Ingersoll, because you've got a lot of materials, I'm simply going to allow you to testify from the place where you're at. Would you raise your right hand so I can swear you in? You swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
All right. Go ahead, sir. You may begin your testimony.
When her and I separated, she had moved out. I went up and I filed for divorce, and I had our daughter for like, I don't know, 2 weeks or something.
Approximately when was that?
So that was July, after we got back from the Limp Bizkit concert. That's pretty much what happened. She moved out.
That doesn't tell me when. July of when?
23.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
July 23, she moved out. She took her oldest two with her, and it was summer. I don't know what they did. I think they went camping or something, and it looked like they had a blast, to be honest. Well, I had my daughter for the 2 weeks that she was looking for a place that she did.
I object.
What's your objection?
It wasn't 2 weeks. He had her for 2 days. I stayed at a campground for 3 nights with my daughters until I
Okay,
found.
slow down. An objection typically is a legal reason why he can't say what he wants to say.
He's
It's
lying.
not, well, hang on. Typically, it's not, I disagree with what he's saying. You'll be given an opportunity when it's your turn to tell me what you disagree with as far as facts. If
Okay.
there's a legal reason why he shouldn't say it at all, then you can object. But a disagreement about what the facts are is not a legal reason to not say it at all. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yep.
All right. So thank you very much for listening to that. Go ahead, Mr. Ingersoll.
I would like to say, so where I'm currently residing, is a friend of mine, wife, daughter, all that good stuff. Well, so she was the babysitter, and so was her mom when this was all happening.
She is who are you talking about?
So Kiana is her name. So Cassandra and I were using this teenage girl for a babysitter.
Kiana.
Yes.
All right.
So when she moved out and I had to go to work, my friend's wife and his daughter were babysitting our daughter together. When she got her own place, like I was like, hey, I'm sure you want to see your daughter. I didn't try to do anything weird. Like it had been, it'd been a while, she'd seen her, but she had two other kids. So I had my daughter. Like she wanted to try to prove to me that, like, so I did. Then I was arrested.
Okay, let me stop right where you're at right now. You're talking to me about time frame back in July of 23, right?
Yes.
The court, Judge Mertz, made an order in March, excuse me, let me find it again. March of 24.
Yes,
That
sir.
said that mom has sole physical and sole legal custody. I can't go back behind the other judge's back and make a change. I can only go forward from when the last time that the judge looked at it. So that's March of 24 forward is what I can do stuff with. So anything that happened before then, that's water under the bridge.
Yes, sir. So,
Okay, so if you start from March of 24, when the
I got it.
judgment of divorce was granted.
So I filed for divorce. 2 weeks later, I was arrested. We still went through the court proceedings and I was divorced. Part of our divorce agreement, I felt the responsible thing for me to do as a parent would be to relinquish custody to the mother as I was indisposed and wasn't going to be able to make any medical decision or anything like that. The custody was as we agreed. So I stayed in contact. I actually caught 2 felonies while sitting in jail from communicating with her and talking to my daughter, which was cool, whatever, it's fine. So I go to prison. I have just 1 month's worth of printouts that I was actually going to use to show my son how many times I tried to call him and his mom was dodging my calls. She was here, but so I've stayed in contact. I called almost every day except when we were locked down, which was a lot. But like I have a month here and you can see I called every single day, Your Honor. The yellow highlighted is where I stayed in contact. So upon my release, I came to see my son and I went down to Tennessee to see my daughter. I painted her nails, I fed her, I tucked her in, we snuggled, I braided her hair, I did everything that I was supposed to do as a father. Her mother and I got into a personal disagreement, which resulted in me being asked to leave. Me not having any grounds to be at that residence, I took the high road. I drew on her oldest daughter and my daughter before I split, and I came back to Michigan. I found residency, I found a job, I found a vehicle, I upgraded and got a better vehicle 2 days ago. I have insurance on it. I have a valid driver's license. The registration is in my name. I have a bed for my daughter. I have the financial means to take care of her. I think this reintroduction period, maybe by the book, would be if somebody was like completely ghost. But from my daughter's birth until my arrest, I was there every day, except when her and I were at rock concerts due to my inability to control myself with buying rock concert tickets. So I've been around, I've been present. I'm not a stranger to my daughter. I think it would be slightly unnecessary and potentially even inconvenient to ask me to drive down to Tennessee and rent an Airbnb to hang out with my daughter for 3 days to quote unquote see how it goes when I'm not a complete stranger. Like she knows who I am. I have the space and every means available to take care of her. I do understand and respect her mother's reservations as well as the court's rules in regards to how things are supposed to go. I think it's a special circumstance because I didn't just disappear for 2 years. Like I still maintained contact. Now, had my daughter's mother not blocked me on Facebook, blocked my phone number, went to file some wild PPO, and cut off all communication with me, I could have been in even more contact but I went down to Tennessee for to attend this court hearing. And she tried to play this little clip of a video where I admitted that I put my hands on her, and I would do it again if she did what she did the night the same way it all happened. Well, I played the rest of the video, and the judge denied her motion and basically called her an antagonist and like commended me for not wanting to argue or walk away. So this little video that she turned into you, she's trying to paint me in a way like, okay, I own up to it, man. Like we've had our own problems, and that's, you know, it's unfortunate, truthfully. But I'm definitely not a stranger. The judge ruled against her motion, and she did let me meet up, and we went and had food, and I got to go see where she works. And my daughter tells me that she goes to this bar every day, and there's karaoke and there's sparkly stuff, and she loves it.
Mr. Ingersoll,
But I don't think,
unfortunately, what you just told me is called hearsay.
oh no, that wasn't
That's-
hearsay. I seen it. I can show you my map, sir. I was there. I took pictures.
What you said was your daughter told you that her mother went to the bar every day.
No. Like she works at the bar, and she takes my daughter to the bar to work.
Is that what your daughter told you?
Ask her.
Is that what your
Yes, it
daughter-
is.
Then what you just told me is called hearsay, and I can't hear that. I have to listen to the people who actually said it, not you repeat what somebody else said.
Catch what just happened. This is one of the biggest courtroom reality checks people miss. The judge isn't saying Dad is lying. He's saying the court can't rely on secondhand statements like, my daughter told me, unless it's proven through a legal method. That's hearsay, and judges have to filter it out because custody decisions are supposed to be based on reliable evidence, not repeat stories. And notice how the judge keeps teaching both sides procedure. Objections aren't, I disagree. They're a legal reason something shouldn't be said. This matters because the case is shifting from emotions to a checklist, those best interest of the child factors. So let me ask you, should the court prioritize a parent's effort and intention or the child's current stability and routine first? Because that's the tug-of-war we're watching unfold.
Well, since I am under oath.
Slow down. I'm just telling you that there's a legal reason
Yes, Your Honor.
that I can't listen to what you just said. If there's a different way to prove it, then I'm happy to listen to it, but I can't listen to things that are illegal for me to listen to. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so please go ahead.
So, I don't know if my daughter is going to her place of employment, which is pretty mellow. It's Nashville, it's a nice town. I don't know if babysitters are scarce. I do know that I am in a position where I am a good influence on this little girl, and she deserves to have me around for more than just a couple hours at a time. I think, you know, cutting me off, you know, and I've asked her multiple times, and I highlighted it and turned this in, where all I wanted to do was have a relationship with my daughter, and all she wants to do is argue about our relationship or what happened in our relationship. She can't stay on task. So I would like to ask this court to consider making a change in the parenting time, and even potentially at some point the custody agreement, as I am currently in a position to provide in any manner necessary. So,
All right. Is there anything else that you can think of at the moment that you want me to be aware of?
yes, that if you were to tell me that I could go grab my daughter, I would leave here and I would get on 75 South right now to go see my baby.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Varian, do you have any questions for Mr. Ingersoll?
No.
All right, I do have some questions. Mr. Ingersoll, in Michigan, there are things called the best interests of the child factors, and there are 10 or 11, sometimes 12, depending on how you break them up. I'm going to ask you some questions about those things because I'm specifically required by statute to inquire and make a decision about those things. So let me ask these questions. And Ms. Varon, if my questions lead to some questions from you, I'd give you an opportunity after I'm done to ask some additional questions if you need to. All right, Mr. Ingersoll, the first factor is love, affection, and other emotional ties which exist between you and the child. Could you describe that for me, please?
The love and affection between my daughter
Love,
and
affection, and emotional ties that exist between you and your daughter.
Well, we definitely do have an emotional tie. I've stayed in contact. I know that it's my responsibility to teach her things in life it's not her mom's responsibility. It's not called daddy's girl for no reason. I tell her I love her. I tell her that she is beautiful. I tell her to be good and to listen to her mom and brush her teeth and eat all of her dinner and be nice to her sisters. I have expressed my love and affection as much as any father probably possibly could from the position I'm in.
Any other information about love, affection, and emotional ties that you want me to be aware of?
That nothing can break it between us. That little girl's my little girl forever.
All right. The next one is similar to that, but it talks about future kinds of things. So it talks about the capacity and disposition. That is the amount, capacity, and disposition, forward progress, to give the child love, affection, and guidance, and to continue the education and raising of the child in his or her religion or creed, if any. So again, love, affection, and guidance, but also education and religion or creed, if any. Talk about those things for me, please.
I absolutely would love to braid her hair before school in the morning. I would love to help her with her homework. I don't know about the whole religion thing. If that was something that we could, I would absolutely have that conversation. I would be available for education in homework, getting her prepped for school, getting her either on the bus or taking her to school.
Any other information in that category?
I'm not that good at math, but I could definitely help her with the coloring.
All right. The third area, again, talks about that capacity and disposition. That is the ability and the long-term outlook to provide the child with food, clothing, medical care, other care recognized and permitted in the state in place of medical care, and any other material needs. So the idea is, how would you be able to provide for food, clothing, medical care, and material needs?
Well, the first thing, Your Honor, I would say would be paying attention to my child's health to make sure there are no issues. If there was an issue, I would probably go to the hospital, or I'd probably go to the hospital or call her mom first, unless it was one of those where I really should just go to the hospital. I feel like I would be able to provide medical assistance if needed.
Any other information you want me to have about your ability to provide food, clothing, or material needs?
Yes, I work a very decent paying job, and I very much have the ability to provide all of that in any amount she'd ever want, really. I'm able to provide because I have a full, consistent, steady job at the moment.
What are your hours of work?
I start at 10 to 5 usually.
If the child was with you, what would you do with the child during your working hours?
I would find somebody to watch. I have my father lives here, my grandmother lives here. The previous babysitter, just a little older, but still not working a traditional job. So the availability for somebody to watch her would definitely be available. I have a support system here that could help me in the event that I need it.
Anything else that you want me to know about this category?
I answered all the questions right.
The next category is the length of time that the child has lived in a stable, satisfactory environment and the desirability of maintaining continuity. Why would you think that we should remove the child from the mother and bring the child here to live with you?
I think that in not doing so, Your Honor, respectfully, would be mental child abuse. I think that that little girl deserves to have a mother and a father, as it took a mother and father to create her. I don't think that it is solely the mother's responsibility just because she's the one that biologically birthed her. I very much think that the obligation to raise a child should very much fall as equally on my behalf as the mother's, and it shouldn't be about my wallet, but more what I can provide for the child, which is more than just money.
Anything else you want me to know about in this category?
What was the first question again?
Anything else you want me to know about in this category?
Yeah, like what was the category?
Yep.
Sorry.
The child living in a stable, satisfactory environment and the desirability of maintaining continuity.
I would definitely be able to provide a stable environment. I keep a clean house, clean room. I got those pictures in here somewhere too that I could show you guys. Stability is definitely something that I am going to be able to provide.
Okay. The next category is the what basically just what you started talking about there. The permanence as a family unit of the existing or proposed custodial home. That is, tell me a little bit about where you would be keeping her, who else would be in the home, what the relationships are within the home. What would the home life be here with the child with you?
So at the moment, I am staying with a friend. I have an entire level to myself. I have my own bathroom. I have an area set up. I have everything that I need. I am probably a week away from maybe getting my own house, depending on how the market is around here, as I'm currently financially ready to get a residence as well, now that I've completed a solid vehicle. So it is a friend of mine who my daughter has met, as well as his wife and daughter and their son. I am in a relationship. My daughter has not met my new girlfriend, but that is actually inevitable at some point, as I'm expecting another child.
You're not living with your current girlfriend?
We are together, yes.
So when you said you're staying with a friend, that is the friend that you were referring to?
No, my friend's name is Mason. We'll refer to him, well, we call him Mr. Stevens. And then my girlfriend and I are staying together, and I am on the market for my own residence.
So in the house that you're staying at is your girlfriend and you in this upper level?
We're on the lower level.
Lower level. All right. Does she have any additional children of her own?
No.
And do you have any additional children of your own staying with you now?
Only when he comes over.
All right. So you're staying at Mr. Stevens' house. How many are in that household?
So let's see. There's 7 right now, soon to be 6, as he is getting ready to go to college for diesel school. He will be leaving next week.
So in Mr. Stevens' household, there's Mr. Stevens,
his wife,
his
daughter, his son, and then her boyfriend, daughter's boyfriend, who's getting ready to go to college.
Daughter is?
The daughter's boyfriend's getting ready to go to college.
So the boyfriend will be in and out?
He'll be out. He's going to Wyoming. He's going to diesel school. It's a 9-month program.
Okay. How old is the daughter?
17. Well, she'll be 17 this week.
So there's 2 kids?
15-year-old boy, 17-year-old girl. He's in his 40s and she's in her 30s. 5-bedroom house, 3 stories. If that helps.
How long have you been there?
The day after I left Tennessee, when she told me to live. And it was at let's see, August, middle of September. We'll go with
So 4 months. 4.5.
Yes, sir.
All right. And you mentioned that you may be able to get your own house. What is the, have you made an offer on a house? Is there some paperwork pending?
I've looked at several houses. I'm waiting for calls back the first of the month to roll through. I got the money. See who's available.
But you don't have a specific house in mind?
No, not yet. No, sir.
All right.
Currently on the market.
All right.
If anybody's listening, you got a house for rent, hit me up.
The next category is the moral fitness, your moral fitness, or mom's lack of moral fitness. Both would be available for you to talk to me about. What information do you want me to consider in that area?
I am clean. I don't have a desire to drink or use. I am emotionally ready on every level to face life. Like I bring it on, like whatever comes at me, I'm ready for it. Like I don't even know what that word means that you just used. I thought I'd answered it right. I hope I did. Moral something.
Moral fitness would have to do with whether or not you have engaged in behaviors or attitudes or actions which would call into question your ability to have the child with you. So things such as fraud, things such as sexual abuse, things such as pornography, anything that would be a violation of some moral code of ethics.
Oh, that sounds disgusting. No, sir. Okay, we don't do that around here. We do that.
Am I allowed to say something?
If you wish to testify in the future, you can. Do you have a legal objection to what he said so far? All right. You may say something in the future on your testimony time, and you may need to make notes so you remember to do those things, but that's how he gets to say his side, and you get to say your side if you want in the future. Okay? All right. Sir, you mentioned going to prison. What was the reason that you went to prison? What were the charges?
Assault charge.
Okay.
Violated trying to buy a pistol. My charge was felony assault, domestic violence, obstruction of justice, and using a computer to commit a crime.
So no moral improprieties, no things that I described earlier.
I ain't no weirdo, sir.
Okay. Anything else that you want me to be aware of on this issue of moral fitness?
I guess I've got my full PSI, and if the court would like to see it, I don't have any charges on my record that would present me as some sort of creepy weirdo that shouldn't be around. I had a charge thrown at me that was dismissed that I have a copy of. I've got all the paperwork because it's for a whole other story, but I'm not a sex offender. I don't have any, like, I've got a violent case, but I'm not a drug dealer. I'm clean. I don't question.
The facial tattoos that you have, do they have any significance as to meaning anything?
Absolutely. Every single one of them does.
Okay. Do any of them have any connection to morality or morals or ethics? Such as the reason I'm asking is certain, and I can't see exactly what all of the around the eyes, but one looks like a teardrop, but I can't see it.
It's actually my shop logo.
Okay.
And then this was her name. This is my son's name. This is my daughter's name. This is a memorial tattoo for a friend of mine that passed away in a motorcycle club. This is a memorial tattoo for a friend of mine that overdosed on fentanyl. This is just it's a chemical makeup for serotonin. It was just a reminder to be happy no matter what I'm dealing with in life.
The reason I asked is I have seen gang signs in the past, and I'm not saying that you have them. I'm just saying I couldn't see exactly what was on your face. where teardrops indicate killing.
No, sir.
Or
I've
being
never.
involved in a killing.
I do
So
not
that's
have
why I
any
asked
problems.
the question.
No, sir. I've not been convicted. I don't have any robberies, murders, rapes,
All right. And
CS.
that's why I asked the
No,
question.
sir. I tattoo for a living, and
Yep.
I'm just trying to throw up a
I don't have
big
any, I don't have
flag.
any issues with the tattoos themselves, other than if they have a significant meaning, which would be a red flag. All right.
I also don't have any swastikas, no white supremacist, none of that. It's just lots of skulls, though.
All right. The next area is mental and physical health.
Perfect. I actually am in great physical health. I'm in great mental health. I've actually never been prescribed medications. I have never been bipolar, depressed, manic. I've never had hospital stays. I'm not on any medications currently. Actually just had a complete body scan done, and I got high cholesterol. The doctor said I need to walk more, but I'm perfectly healthy.
All right. The next area is the home, school, and community record of the child. Are you aware of any home, school, or community involvement that the child has been involved in that you can say that I have helped with that?
No. No, she's only 4. She hasn't attended school yet, to my knowledge.
No other activities of the child, not Girl Scouts or going to the fair or involved in something else at home or craft projects or anything like that?
Oh, there's all sorts of crafts that happen. Oh my goodness. I bet her house has glitter and scissors and paper cuts everywhere. Like we definitely do crafts. And I know they're still doing crafts for sure. I know that.
How much have you been involved with that?
All of it. Like, I'm the one that invented it, sir. Like, I'm the one that brought that idea to the table. Lately, not as much as I'd like to, because just before I got here, I think that was like the first time we talked on the phone for more than 2 minutes in the last 5 months, because she blocked me. I've been trying to reestablish all this. Yes.
All right. The next area is the willingness and the ability of each of the parties, that is the mom and the dad, to facilitate and encourage a close and continuing parent-child relationship with the other parent. So how willing are you to encourage a good relationship between Roman and her mom, and how have you done that in the past?
I absolutely encourage that relationship. I think it's important on both sides. I think it's extremely important for a child to have both their mother and their father. I think Cassandra's done a great job. My daughter is absolutely sweet. She's perfect in every way. I don't have any qualms with that. But I do think that it is important to have a mother and father in the home. There's things that the child needs from both.
Okay. Then the last area is, well, 2 areas. One, the next to last one is domestic violence, regardless of whether it was directed at or witnessed by the child. You and the mom been involved in domestic violence?
Oh yeah, tons of them. But we actually got fortunate, and the kids were always at usually her mother's house. Her and I, we like to turn up on the weekends, give grandma a chance to spend time with the kids, and that lets us, cause a ruckus through the town. So there were definitely more domestics than there should have been. But I am grateful that the children, I mean, I'm not gonna act like I'm sure they've seen some fighting. They definitely heard some arguing. Like, told her to leave, told me to leave, told us to stop, begging us to quit. Yeah, there was way too much of that was happening. But in front of our daughter, I don't know. There's one video clip you could hear me saying that I don't want to argue in front of my daughter. I'm trying to walk away from her while she's following me around, trying to poke me.
Have there been any convictions for domestic violence?
Yeah, they got me with one. She went to jail. She went to jail for domestic once. And and I ghosted the police or whatever. It didn't go through. However, I don't know. I'm sure she's gonna have a different story, whatever happened. But she did go to a jail for domestic on me, and I did go to a jail for domestic on her multiple times. But those were all dismissed except for the very last one. But the kids
Was
went
she
around.
convicted of the offense against you, or was that just an arrest and then release and the case was not done?
No, it wasn't. It how did what was it? Dismissal? Like they just dropped it. Another weekend at our house. Too much of that.
All right, and then the last one is any other factor that the court or you might think would be relevant. Is there any other information that you want me to be aware of in determining your custody and parenting time decision?
I just like to inform the court that there is no moral, personal, financial, medical, or emotional traveling restriction. There's no reason why I wouldn't be able to start this process that you are talking about. I'm already established. She's 4 years old. My absence was only physical. I wasn't all the way gone. I was still present, and I'm still trying to be present had she not blocked me from every platform, unrightfully so. I feel that I think this should be about my daughter, our daughter, excuse me. This should be about our daughter and what's best for her. And I think me only getting to see her once a month that's parental alienation, and that should be classified as abuse. I would like to be way more involved in my daughter's life, way more involved in her life than her dad was with her. No offense.
Last question I have for you. I think you told me before, I want to make sure I get this correct. You were in prison from 2023 through August of 25.
Basically, I got arrested September 25th, 23, and I was in the Roscommon County Jail until July 9th of 24, and then I spent July 9th of 2024 until August in the federal prison system.
And when was Roman's date of birth?
It was December 27th to 21.
All right. Have you completed your testimony now, sir?
Yes, sir. I'm done now.
All right. Ms. Varon,
Yes.
you were very patient while I asked my questions. Do you have any additional questions that you wish to ask of Mr. Ingersoll?
No.
All right. Mr. Ingersoll, is there any other evidence that you have that you wish to present today?
That depends on how y'all are taking in her videos into account. If you're gonna look at her videos, then I just want the rest of the videos played. Otherwise, we could just keep all that right out the courtroom.
Well, we'll see what she wants to do in just a minute, but I want to make sure that you've had an opportunity to do what you think you need to do in your side of the case.
Yeah, actually, there was something. There was so while I was in prison, I was they call them needs. Right, stuff that they're like classes that they mandate you to take.
Yep.
And there is a list of them. If I may approach the bench, Your Honor, am I allowed to do that?
Give it to the deputy.
So it's there in the middle of the page. Some of them have yeses, some of them has nos. Those were classes that were mandated for me. I didn't just sit there and do nothing. I spent a lot of time reflecting on, and I can say like that I am a better man coming out of that. It's definitely not what I wanted. I definitely don't know if I needed it, but since it got dosed to me, I took advantage of it, and I come out a better man, and being a better man for me, my kids.
So what you've handed me is what appears to be an individualized needs plan, the inmate copy from the Department of Corrections,
Oh, that was a Federal Bureau.
Federal Bureau of Prisons.
Yeah. That one.
All right, I got that. So there is a page on here that says current FSA assignments.
Money, financial stuff. I already paid it.
And then there are some of these where it says need, where it indicates yes. Does that mean that you took a course on that?
Yes, that means that was so like some of them, they didn't think that I needed it, you know, like a financial class.
All right, so just for the record, let me read what it says yes for. It says need antisocial peers, yes. Need finance/poverty, yes. Need substance abuse, yes. Need work, yes. Those are the courses that you took and that you want the court to be aware of?
Yes, sir.
All right, I've read those and considered that. I'll give those back to you. Any other information that you want me to have?
Yes, sir. That is on this next piece of paper that's being handed to you is just the judgment from the protection order judgment that was put against her motion. I think I said that right.
All this says is that a matter before Judge Howard Wilson on January 22nd of 2026 in the Chancery Court for Rutherford County, Tennessee.
I think that's the wrong one.
Adjourned to resets the orders.
Never mind, that's the wrong one.
Heard on Monday, February 2nd.
Well, that's the wrong one. No, I'm done.
Ms. Varon, you have the ability, if you wish to testify, you would be subject to questions or cross-examination by Mr. Ingersoll or by myself. If you wish to do that, you do not have to testify if you don't want to. What is your wish?
I'll testify.
All right. Would you raise your right hand so I can swear you in, please? You swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead and put your hand down. I'm going to give you an opportunity, like I did him, to tell me what it is that you want me to know. And then I may have some specific questions for you about the best interest factors. But this is your opportunity to go ahead and tell me what it is that you want me to know. Go ahead, ma'am.
Okay. So he keeps bringing up this video. I'm not really worried about showing the video, honestly. It's not, it doesn't paint either one of us in a good light. But that is why I blocked him in all of that, because I was trying to get a personal protection order against him. And the only reason that the personal protection order didn't go through is because he was never served. And so once he got to the court and started testifying, he told the judge that he was never served. So we had to stop what we were doing. And they had to serve him with the paperwork. And then, anyways, it doesn't matter. So essentially, long story short, I blocked him and I did all of that because I thought that there was a no contact order because of the PPO that I was trying to put in place. So I wasn't just blocking him to block him. Like, I was trying to get a personal protection order against him for myself and for my children. If you watch the video, you'd see why. He's a very physical person. It doesn't, whatever, that's aside from the point. I guess really what I'm worried about more is, yes, he knows his daughter. Yes, she knows him, but he has not had to take care of her. He doesn't know how to react to tantrums. He doesn't know really anything about her. And when he was here for the 2 weeks, I was also here for the 2 weeks. And I also live with my best friend, and she's been around the girls for 2 years. She's helped me with the girls in Nigel's place. She's been around, and she was also here. So yes, he was here, and yes, he helped do things, but we were also here. So he didn't take care of her by himself. And when he said that he had her for 2 weeks and then he was arrested, he didn't have her for 2 weeks. I left the house with the kids. We went and got a campground for a couple nights. It was nice out, so we went and got a campground. And then we went and stayed at a hotel. And it took me 4 days to find a house. It didn't take 2 weeks. It took me 4 days to find a house. And when he was arrested, my child was sent with his other ex-wife. So my child went missing. He failed to tell the police that Roman was my daughter and not his other ex-wife's daughter. So my child went missing for a couple hours because he was going to jail and I didn't know where my child was. So I had to go on a wild goose hunt for my 1-year-old daughter because he had just been arrested for spousal abuse against me. And I don't, so did you get my evidence and stuff? You have my packet?
I got information from you, but it's not been admitted, so I can't say that I have considered it yet because it's not been admitted.
Okay.
So I have to let that happen in court. I can't just review things outside of court and then have that information. I have to do so in court.
Well, I just wanted to make sure you had it in that paperwork somewhere. There's text messages from Nigel admitting to giving his son a bloody nose when we lived together and his son would come stay with us. He was very violent. He gave his son multiple bloody noses, and there is text messages in there of Nigel admitting that. He is very good at putting on a show to your face right in front of you, standing in front of you. He knows how to say the right words. I mean, clearly his arrest record alone should show he has 5 domestic violences against me. And the only reason those were all dismissed is because I had to go down to the courthouse and have them dismissed because he told me that he wasn't going to jail for this shit. So he would threaten me and make me go dismiss these cases. And the one that I was arrested for, the very first one, my children were at the house. And he choked me out, which is why it was dismissed. They arrested me, and when I gave my statement, it was dismissed because he choked me out while my children were in the house. That's why my case was dismissed.
Wait. What's your legal objection?
I'd like to see the police report to that because I have the audio clip still to my
Again,
phone.
objections are not, I disagree with what she's saying.
Okay, sorry.
The objection is there a legal reason why she can't say it at all?
Okay.
Okay, so if you'll be given a chance at the end to disagree with her factually, but you can't just say, I disagree with her, so she can't say it.
Okay.
Go ahead, Ms. Barron.
Yes, sir.
So, yes, I was arrested because I took his phone out of his hands, but he proceeded to choke me out while my children were in the house. And that is the statement I wrote, and that is why that case was dismissed, because I was falsely arrested. Like, they left my children with him. We had only been together at this point for like 2 weeks or something. They left my 4-year-old daughter and my 6-year-old daughter with him and took me to jail. And then after my statement, it was dismissed.
All right.
So, and then going back to the moral thing, he was like, oh, I got this charge. So the 17-year-old girl that he lives with, one of his charges is using a computer during the commission of a crime. It's because he sent a nude photo of me to that 17-year-old girl, who at the time was 14. He sent a naked picture of me.
She wasn't exposed. She wasn't.
It doesn't matter.
Stop. Mr. Ingersoll, I've already told you, you don't get to make comments whenever you want to make comments. We do things in order here. If you have an objection, a legal objection, you can say, objection, Judge. I'll ask you what that objection is. But an objection is not, I disagree with what she says. That's not appropriate to talk then.
An objection.
What is your legal objection?
Whatever case she's talking about was dismissed. I was charged with something else. That's my final disposition.
That's not a legal reason for her to not explain what she believes.
All right, well, now she's trying to defame my character.
Mr. Ingersoll. That is what cross-examination is for.
All right. Yes, sir.
Ms. Varon, please continue.
So I mean, Rolla is the one who prosecuted him. Rolla is the one that brought on the charges. Rolla is the one that saw the picture of me and thought that it was a nude photo. I mean, it was a naked picture of me that Nigel sent to a 14-year-old girl that he's now living with. I don't think that it's appropriate for my child to be going to stay with him with a bunch of random people and his girlfriend. Like, good for him. I'm happy that he's got a girlfriend and she's pregnant and they're moving on with their lives. Like, that's cool, but I don't know her. And what I do know of her is that she's a drug addict and she's been in and out of rehab and she's overdosed and all these crazy things. And that's not the kind of role model that I want for my child either.
Slow down for just a second. Let me ask a question about that. You're talking about the person that he currently is his girlfriend or that he's
Correct.
testified about previously?
Correct.
All right. How do you know that she's involved with drugs?
I mean, I lived in Gaylord. You hear about people, you know who's doing what, people talk. I mean, yeah, sure, it can be considered hearsay, but I'm sure you can find paperwork. Like, she's been to rehab multiple times.
You don't have any personal knowledge. You haven't seen her do drugs
No,
or had her tell you that she
I've
does
seen
drugs.
I think I've seen her in person one time.
All right. Please continue with your testimony. Go ahead.
I mean, I don't really have much else other than, like, I'm not trying to keep him from her. I'm trying to do it the way the courts say it should be done. A reintroduction period. I come down here, stay for a few days, get to know her again. Like, yeah, you know her over the phone. Yeah, you can have a conversation and everything's fine and dandy until shit hits the fan and she's throwing a tantrum and he doesn't know how to deal with it. And next thing you know, he's giving my daughter a bloody nose because he can't control himself. I don't want that for my daughter.
Why do you believe that what you just described would happen?
Because I've watched him do it to his son. And when he did it to his son, I got in contact with Krista and told her about it. And he did it on multiple occasions, as well as, so he wasn't only violent with me, he was violent with his son, verbally abusive, calling his son is highly functioning autistic.
Actually, that is not true.
That is very true.
Show me.
Stop.
You can read
Stop.
the text message.
Hey. I don't know
There's
how
a
you
text
guys talk.
message in my
Ms.
evidence.
Varon, stop. Ms. Varon, stop. Mr. Ingersoll, I'm not going to put up with your comments.
Yes, sir.
You've told me that 3 times now. Yes, sir, but you keep making the comments. So the next time I hear it from you, I'm going to hold you in contempt of court. Ms. Varon, the same thing applies to you. When I tell you to stop, that doesn't mean that you keep going.
Yes, sir.
So if it happens again to either one of you, I'm going to hold you in contempt of court.
Yes, sir.
We do things in order here, and I'm not going to have the 2 of you sniping at each other.
It wasn't my intention. I apologize.
Thank you. All right. I'm going to let you take a deep breath, Ms. Varon, and continue, and then I'll have some questions for you.
I've seen him be violent with me, with my children, with his own children. He was violent with his ex-wife. I've watched him be violent with his male friends even. I've watched him knock out quite a few of his male friends. Like, he just lacks self-control. And I don't think that should be at the expense of my 4-year-old daughter because he doesn't know how to control himself. Like, he can say he loves her and she's beautiful and all of these things, but he said all of those things to me while he was simultaneously beating me. So he can say whatever he wants to say about how he cares about his daughter, but that doesn't take away the facts. There is a plethora of evidence against him. Like, he went to prison for abuse. Like, I don't want to keep him from her. I want him to have a relationship with her, but I want it to be a safe one.
Let me know when you're, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm done.
All right. I'm going to have some questions for you in a minute, but I want you to be able to be somewhat put together when I ask the question. So if you need a minute, take a minute.
I'm good. I'm good.
All right. So I'm going to go through the same kinds of questions that I had for him, that best interest of the child factors with you. And I'd like to get your side of those things as well. So the first question is the love and affection and other emotional ties that exist between not only you and the child, but between him and the child. How would you explain that to me?
There is no doubt that they love each other. And I mean, that's obvious. She loves him. She adores him. And that's perfectly fine. I love that they can, that they have such a good relationship when they're talking, and everything is good when they're talking and all of that. So I mean, that part of the relationship is great between them. And obviously it's great between us here. I love her. She's funny, she's cute, she's quirky. We snuggle all the time. We're always going out to parks and waterfalls and always going to do things. And yeah, I just, as much as I can be with them, I am with them, and always doing what we can to have fun and to be happy.
All right. The next question sounds like it was written by a lawyer because it talks about capacity and disposition. But what it looks for, and as I explained it to Mr. Ingersoll, it's talking about how much ability do you have, and how in the future, how much going forward do you have the ability to provide love, affection, guidance, education, and religious training or creed. So love and affection and guidance, education, religion, and creed are the areas that I'd like you to talk about.
I mean, I feel like I've done a pretty good job so far. She's 4 years old, and I also have 2 other daughters that I feel like I've done a pretty good job with, keeping their moral compass pointed the right direction, keeping good grades in school, doing your homework, taking care of yourself. That's, I tell my kids all the time, you might think I'm mean, but I'm only doing it because I love you. When my daughter doesn't want to brush her hair or brush her teeth or whatever, um, I just want what's best for them at all times.
All right. Anything else that you want me to know about in that area?
No, I think I'm good.
All right. The next area is, again, that capacity and disposition, which is your ability and your future-looking conduct in the areas of food, clothing, medical care, and other material needs.
I mean, I've provided for her for over 2 years now without Nigel's help. Yeah, he gave me $150 the other day, but I mean, I would have paid the bill without it. We are very well fed. We're very well taken care of. She's quite spoiled rotten, actually. So I mean, I don't really have any qualms with being able to take care of her. She's very well taken care of, and I don't foresee anything happening in the future for that to not be the case.
Okay. The next area is the length of time that the child has lived in a stable, satisfactory environment and the desirability of maintaining continuity. Talk to me about that.
We have lived in the house we live in now for 1.5 years, and our lease is not up for almost another year. We have about another year here. We just re-signed a contract for 18 months. So we've been here for a while, established. We have a big backyard with a bunch of toys. She's my oldest daughter is also established, going to school. She's got her friends here. So we got our roots in the ground, that's for sure.
All right. The next area is the permanence as a family unit of your current household. Who's in the household with you? How long have they been there? How long have you been with the kids? That sort of thing.
So in the household, it is myself, Roman, my 11-year-old daughter, Serenity, and my best friend, Alexis. And we have all lived together we've lived in this house. We moved from Gaylord together in July, but she kind of lived with me a little bit before that. So Alexis and I and the girls have all been together for almost 2 years, well over a year and a half. We're established.
Any issues with the relationship between Alexis and Roman?
Not at all. No, they call her Aunt Lex. She's awesome.
All right. Any issues with moral fitness?
On my side, no. I mean, I just do what I think is best in any situation, and that's also what I'm trying to do in this situation. My moral compass is pointed north. You know, I'm doing what I can to make sure all my kids' needs are met, keep the bills paid, keep the food on the table. You know, I just
No
going through the motions.
convictions for moral issues that you're aware of on your side?
Nope, nothing like that.
Anything with Lex or with your oldest daughter that you're aware of?
Nope.
All right. The next area is mental and physical health. Any issues on your side for that?
I have prior, when I was 17, I was diagnosed bipolar. I throughout the years on and off have taken medication for it, but it's not a necessity for me at this point. I'm 32 years old. I'm pretty well in control of my emotions for the most part. I mean, I have my days. My relationship with Nigel has caused a lot of PTSD and anxiety. So I do have bouts of PTSD in certain situations, but I'm also learning how to deal with that and how to, you know, get my mind back where it needs to be. I mean, it is what it is. I'm not suicidal. I'm not crazy. I'm not any of those things. I just have my days.
Are you currently in any sort of form of therapy or counseling for those issues?
No.
Have you been in the past?
Not for those issues, no. I had court-ordered counseling.
All right. But none for your bipolar diagnosis, none for your PTSD that you're aware of?
No.
All right. Any home, school, or community or record of Roman that you want me to be aware of?
I mean, she goes to daycare, so she just started that last week. She did go to a daycare prior, and she went there for about 8 months or so. So, I mean, she's socializing. She's good with other kids. She has fun at daycare. And she's very smart. She knows numbers and ABCs and all that good stuff. So, I mean, she's doing good.
Any activities that you have had her involved in the community?
I mean, other than like just going, like when we see, like I took him to see Santa for Christmas, or we went to the light show. So I mean, we do stuff like that, but no, nothing like community work or anything like that.
All right. The next question is the willingness that you have to facilitate and encourage a close and continuing parent-child relationship between Roman and her dad.
I mean, like I said, I want them to have a relationship. I want him to be able to see her and be around, but I want to know that it's a safe relationship. I want to know that, you know, when she has her days and she's throwing a fit in the middle of Walmart, that he's going to know how to deal with it and how to handle himself. And so, I mean, I am not opposed to them having a relationship. I just want it to be a safe one.
All right. The next issue is that of domestic violence. You've told me a little bit about that already. Is there anything else that you want to add?
I mean, outside of what I told you already, no. That's pretty all cut and dry.
Is there any other information, any other factor that you want me to consider?
I mean, just as well as the things that I've already said. I mean, his son Riot should be enough of an example. He doesn't like going to hang out at his dad's. He doesn't want to be there. His dad is mean to him and violent with him. And I mean, if that calls for anything, she hasn't seen it and she's not old enough to speak for herself, but he is and he has. And if that's any, I don't know.
All right.
It's been years of this for him.
How old is Riot?
Almost 13.
I believe.
All right. I have one more question for you, and then I'm going to ask the same question of Mr. Ingersoll as well. If you had to tell me, well, I'm going to ask you, I want you to tell me what type of parenting time that you would suggest that we use in this case, and be specific about how often and when and where and how you get there.
I mean, from my stance, I would not be opposed to him coming down and getting a hotel room for a few days. Maybe, I mean, I guess it depends on how much he can afford it, but if he can do it once a month, then come down once a month for a few months, or if he can do it every other week, come down every other week for a few visits and we'll see how it goes. I mean, I just can't see myself giving my child away to go states away with people I don't know I can't.
How many times do you want that to occur before you think that you would feel safe?
I mean, at least 3, maybe 4. I would depend on how the situations went, I guess. Like if we get to, say the first 2 go good and we get to number 3 and something happens, then I guess we'd have to go from there, but.
Yeah, I understand that. I understand, but let's assume that things go well. You're looking for 3 or 4 times in Tennessee, and then what would you think would happen after that?
I mean, as long as everything went well and everything was fine, I would not be opposed to her going to stay with him for a few days. Or when I go up there, I can make a trip to Michigan and I can stay in Michigan for a few days and she can go stay at his house while I'm there in Michigan. And then, she can get used to his house. Like I'm willing to work with him to do what needs to be done to make it happen the right way, but I'm not just jumping in.
How often would you come to Michigan and under what timetable?
I could make at least a summer trip for probably a week. I wouldn't be able to give you a time frame like today, but I mean, I could probably make a summer trip happen for a few days or something. Maybe end
Other
of
than the
summer.
summertime, what other type or length of parenting time would you be looking for?
I mean, when it came to like every other holiday, I mean, if you wanted, I guess that's where it comes into us just being able to talk about it and communicate and be parents. Like, I mean,
All right.
I have no problem just communicating with him and saying, oh, you want to come down for Christmas, or, oh, you want us to come up for Christmas. Like I have 2 other kids with 2 other dads that I co-parent with very well. We have no issues. There's, I have full custody of my other daughter as well. And I have a 9-year-old that's in Michigan with her dad for the school year. Like I have no problems communicating with either of them. And I don't foresee, unless Nigel wants to create problems, I don't foresee there being an issue with this one either. I'm an adult.
Is Roman going to be in school in the fall of this year, 2026?
That is the plan.
All right. So we're looking at from now until September where she is available more without a school schedule. And then
Correct.
we'd be looking at school breaks, Christmas, Thanksgiving, those kinds of things, spring break, and then we'd be back to the summer schedule again as well. All right.
Yeah.
Any other specifics that you would have for me to suggest that you would suggest to me for parenting time?
I suppose my only other thing would be his girlfriend. I would like to meet his girlfriend before my daughter does. Like, don't just drop a bomb on my kid and be like, here's your new mom type shit, you know? Like, I would like for all of us to be able to sit down and have a conversation and be adults and do the thing, you know?
All right. Mr. Ingersoll, I'm going to give you the same opportunity to tell me what it is that you think we should do for parenting time. What is your recommendation?
Your Honor, what I would like this court to consider would be me going to see my daughter. Sure, we'll go with that. And I understand the reintroductory, you know, by the way of the book. But I'd like to have my daughter for more than 2 days at a time. You know, I remember she got sent to her dad when she was real little. Like, I really hoping that she would do the same.
So specifically, what is it that you're looking for? I understand what your basic.
I like 50-50 custody, Your Honor. I like to be able to see my daughter. And it not just be on her terms.
When do you want that to start, and under what circumstances do you want that?
Immediately, at the most extreme circumstances. Like, I'm just trying to do, Your Honor, whatever it takes for me to be able to continue to finish this introductory thing so I can have my daughter. I would love that. We miss each other.
Tell me what that looks like from your perspective, that reintroductory period.
I would like to go down, pick up my daughter, and bring her back and go to the park, and we'll go fishing, and I'll teach her how to, you know, all the stuff, like all the stuff. Like, there's so many things coming out. Like, I feel like I'm freezing, but I'm almost 40 years old, Your Honor. I'm capable of caring for a 4-year-old little girl. I've had my moments. Yeah, my son, he aggravated me over a sandwich, and he was sniffling long after I told him he didn't have to eat it, and grabbed the tip of his nose, and he was still sniffling, and then it started bleeding. I didn't punch him. Yes, I have had my moments. I still feel like an ass. I'm sorry, Riot. Like, my little girl's safe around me. Like, I would like this court to consider giving me back the custody that I relinquished so I can be a father to my daughter.
All right. Anything else that you want me to know, sir?
I don't think so.
All right. I'm going to give both of you at most a couple of minutes if you want to. You don't need to if you don't want to. But I'm going to give you a moment to summarize, if you want to, why I should find in your favor. So I'm going to let Mr. Ingersoll go first because this is his motion. Ms. Varian, you'll have an opportunity to do that too if you wish. And again, neither one of you has to do that. It's simply a good way for you to summarize what you think that the testimony and the evidence said. Mr. Ingersoll, if you wish to do so, go ahead now.
Yes, sir, Your Honor. I feel that I have provided a sufficient amount of evidence to this court today to prove that I am more than capable on many different levels to provide the proper care for a little girl on every level that needs to be provided. I'm not a danger to her. I am fully ready to take on the responsibility that she's had.
All right. Thank you, sir. Ms. Varian, is there anything else that you want to add?
I would just like to add that I think that he's done the opposite, and I think that he's proved that he's not yet ready. He doesn't have his own place. He's only been where he's at for 4 months. He's trying to, as quickly as he can, gather as much as he can together to make it look like he has his life together, so that he can fool you into thinking that he's ready to be a parent. And I don't believe that that's true.
All right. I'm going to take just a minute while I sit here on the bench to organize my thoughts for a minute. So if you guys would just be patient with me for a minute, and then I'll make my decision and we'll kind of go from there. All right. I'm going to consider the motion by Mr. Ingersoll for custody and parenting time somewhat together, and I'll separate them a little bit as we go on to this. When we started this matter, I determined that there was a proper cause or significant change in circumstances in that Mr. Ingersoll has now been released from prison and is back and available to meet with his daughter and to have a physical and personal relationship with her, other than simply by telephone or Zoom or other that he was only able to do because of his incarceration. So I believe that was a proper decision and would have a significant impact on the child's life, and it is different than when the last court order was done, which was the judgment of divorce, which is in March of 2024. So there is a proper reason for Mr. Ingersoll to bring his motions both for custody and for parenting time. I do find that the, established custodial environment, as I put on the record previously, is with the mother. She has had Roman with her for Roman's entire life. Dad has been outside of that ability because he was incarcerated from, I believe, March of 23 through July of 25 or thereabouts, very close to that period of time. I don't see it in my notes immediately, but I did put that on the record. So Dad was gone for a significant period of time. Since then, Roman has been with Mom on a daily basis. Dad has had an opportunity to visit, but has not had an opportunity to establish a custodial environment. He is hopeful of doing so, and I believe that he intends to do so. But as of right now, he has not established that custodial environment. And I don't believe that Roman looks to him for the providence of food, clothing, shelter, guidance, education, and comfort and care on a regular basis as she would do so with Mom, because Mom is the person that's at home. Because of that determination that Mom has the established custodial environment, that Dad's, Mr. Ingersoll's burden of proof would be by clear and convincing evidence before I can make a change of custody. Looking at the best interest factors, it is clear to me that Dad loves and has love returned to him from Roman, that they have a good relationship, as limited as it is, but he does have a good relationship with her. So I do find that Mom has a good relationship also because of the length of that relationship. Dad has a good relationship. I believe Mom has a very durable relationship. And I'm hopeful that Dad's relationship continues to blossom, continues to do well. So I'm going to find that somewhat favors Mom simply because Mom had more time with Roman, not to the detriment of Dad in any way, but I just simply realize that with the time spent, the relationship is going to be deeper with Mom than with Dad. But I think Dad is doing what he can and has done what he can over time to try to keep a good relationship with Roman. And that's to his credit. It's hard to do while you're incarcerated. And I believe that you've done a good job of attempting to do that. So there's a slight favor of Mom on the first element of love, affection, and emotional ties between parties and the child. The second one has to do with the capacity and disposition of the parties to give the child love, affection, and guidance, and to continue the education and raising the child in his or her religion or creed. Dad, again, talks about what he would like to do, and this is a forward-looking thing. So I give him credit for wanting to be there for braiding her hair, for homework. He didn't mention much about religion, but does believe that he can prepare her for school. On the other hand, Mom has actually done all of those things, prepared her for school, gotten her into the daycare, helped her with her ABCs and her numbers and those kinds of things. And again, I can't fault Dad on those things. It's because Mom has had more time with the child. And so all I can do is look as to what that is and then try to project that forward. It does appear that they both want the same things for their daughter. They both want her to succeed. They both want her to have a good life. On the other hand, I also have to consider Dad's relationship with his son, with his other children, in how he has reacted with them. And that leads me to believe that he may have some difficulties once Roman gets past the very, very young child stage and gets up to the stage where Riot has gone through already, where he is, as most children do, saying annoying things and doing annoying things. And there may be some difficulty in relating to that. So again, I believe that Mom has a greater capacity and disposition, both because of her current involvement with Roman and because of Dad's past involvement with his children, which was somewhat detrimental, even by his own testimony. The third area is the capacity and disposition of the parties to involve the child with food, clothing, medical care, or other material needs. Again, Mom has done that already and has continued to do that. And I find that the home and the care has been good with Mom so far. Dad, I believe, has the ability to do those things. He has a good paying job. He has insurance. He has transportation, and I commend him for having all of those things. So I'm going to find that, again, slightly favors Mom just based on the past history of that. I believe going forward that Dad fully intends to do all of those things and to make things available for Roman. So I only slightly believe that mom has a slight edge in that based on the past actions that she's taken. The fourth element is the length of time that the child has lived in a stable, satisfactory environment and the desirability of maintaining continuity. Roman currently lives with mom and an older sibling and a fictitious aunt and has done so for about 1.5 years now. Dad's environment, Roman doesn't have any idea who those people are, or maybe only a slight information as to who they are. And I find it to be it would be much more difficult for Roman to be brought into another family's home and try to establish a relationship with you in the beginning. It would be much easier if it was you. And then there's also the new girlfriend that she doesn't have much, if any, relationship with. So again, those factors favor mom because of those reasons. The moral fitness of the parties involved. Dad has been clean and sober. I went through some classes at the prison to, I believe, address some of those kinds of issues. He's indicated that he doesn't have any additional convictions. Mom brought up the fact that dad has improper use of a computer crime that involved sending what she characterized as a nude photo to a 14-year-old or a young person. And that does cause me some concern, even if it's not exactly as stated by mom. It does cause me some concerns there. So I do believe that mom has a slight edge in that category as well. I didn't hear anything about mental and physical health for either party that caused me any concerns. Mom has indicated that she has a bipolar diagnosis quite a number of years ago when she was 17, does not appear to be having any current issues with that, is not involved in any current medication, therapy, or counseling from that. So I find that to be equal. Very little in the homeschool and community record of the child, and what is there is based on what mom has done, so that it would either be equal or very slightly towards mom. Both parties have indicated as to the next issue, willingness and ability of each party to facilitate and encourage a close and continuing parent-child relationship. Both parties have indicated that they wish to have that be good between the parties. It's pretty clear to me from the short time that I've been in front of both of you that it's very difficult for both of you to talk to each other. Given the amount of domestic violence that both of you have talked about occurring between the two of you, I don't find that to be out of the ordinary. It would surprise me if you were able to talk with each other in a civil manner. And the fact that I had to warn both of you repeatedly about making comments in court about the other lets me know that if you were outside the courtroom, it probably would be much worse than what I observed. It appears that dad does make some effort to encourage his daughter to have a good relationship with the mother, and that mom has, to her credit, allowed dad to have contact with Roman when it was not court ordered. She has attempted to negotiate with dad, and that's not to say that dad had to agree with what she said, but the fact is she has attempted to make those negotiations, and she has indicated to me that she's not trying to keep the child away from him, but just wants to make sure that the child is safe, and that is an appropriate thing for a parent to consider. So I find in this particular case that the domestic violence, which is going to bleed into the next one, but the domestic violence that dad has perpetrated on mom is heavier and more often than what mom has reciprocated with. So I find that there's a small factor that favors the mother in that case. Domestic violence is the next factor. And I think everybody has said that there is tons of it, that this is a toxic relationship between these two parties. The kids, other than Roman, the children that the parties either didn't share but have between them, have heard it, and in dad's testimony is begged for it to stop. Dad has been convicted once. Mom has not been convicted of domestic violence, but has testified that it occurred to her on 5 times by dad on her. And Dad's comment was, it's just another weekend at our house. So that tells me that domestic violence is an ingrained feature of Dad's everyday life. And that gives me some pause in allowing contact with Roman because of that, because she is at best 4 years of age. And if she were to be in Michigan, she would be a long ways away from her mother and her safety net in Tennessee. All right, so having said all of that, as to custody, I do not find that Dad has met the burden of clear and convincing evidence for me to change custody. Therefore, I'm going to keep custody the same. Mom will maintain sole legal and physical custody. Then I'll address parenting time in just a minute. Parenting time is designed to have, if at all possible, a good relationship and as much time as possible between the non-custodial parent and the child as possible. That's the state of the law. So it is appropriate for Dad, even though he does not have legal and physical custody, to have parenting time. And so under the parenting time rules, I'm going to implement a reasonable time period to begin with for a reintroduction of Roman with her father. Dad, when given an opportunity, didn't give me, other than a desire, didn't give me anything specific that I can work with. So it appears to me that Mom's suggestion is the most appropriate one, that either once a month or once every other week for the next 3 or 4 times, Dad can go down to Tennessee, have a weekend with her. I believe that would be during the day, would not be an overnight visit. So he can come and see Roman, see her on a Saturday or Sunday or a long weekend, even if it includes a Monday, but it would not be overnight.
All right, here's the professional takeaway. The judge recognized a real change of circumstances because Dad is out of incarceration and now physically available, but that doesn't automatically reset custody. The court found the established custodial environment is with Mom, and because of that, Dad needed clear and convincing evidence to change custody. He didn't meet that burden, so Mom keeps sole legal and physical custody. But the judge also emphasized the law's goal. If it's safe, a child should have meaningful time with both parents. So the court built a structured reintroduction, Dad traveling to Tennessee for a few visits, daytime only, supervised, no overnight, before anything bigger can even be considered. The bigger implication is simple. Courts don't reward urgency. They reward stability, safety, and proof. Now, I want to hear from you. Did the judge get the balance right, protecting stability while still giving Dad a path back in? If you found this case as shocking as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns.
And that would be supervised